Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing my response to your quick Q&A questions you guys asked me about 2 weeks ago. I was going to do this about 2 weeks ago, like I said I was going to do. However, I got sick, which always seems to happen when I do Q&As. Like I put the video out to ask for questions, and then I get sick, and then it takes me 2 weeks later to do the video. Such is life, I guess. But yes, I do apologize. I did get sick, guys. But I'm here now to do the Q&A questions today for you guys that you left for me. The questions you guys left for me. Also, I'll make this a two-part video if I'm not able to get everybody's questions. And I do apologize. I can't put everybody's name and show the question up on the screen. I don't know how to do that, and I'm at a place right now where I don't have internet, so I can't really do that. So I do apologize, but I do have my phone with everybody's questions on them. So the first question comes from True Gamer Q. What is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh series? Well, my favorite arc in all of Yu-Gi-Oh is the final arc in the original series where the gang and everybody in Yu-Gi get to travel back to ancient Egypt. We get to see why Kaiba is so obsessed with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. We also get to see I'm a sucker for history. I'm a sucker for ancient Egypt. I get Yu-Gi-Oh and ancient Egypt mixed together. Like that's like, I can't get no better than that, unless we're going back to like, that's just amazing. That was so awesome and just so cool in general, and I love the way they did that in the show. It was very awesome. That's my favorite arc by far. My favorite series, I do love Arc 5 before the dimension hopping happened. So before all the, like, they started going off and became the Lancers and start running around, that got kind of confusing, but before that it was cool. The 5Ds I love, and GX I love. I love the final season of GX. If you've not watched the dubbed version in Japan, with subtitles, it's amazing. It really is. So that's very cool. But my favorite series would have to be 5D's favorite arc, the final season of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I do love GX, and I do love Arc 5. Zexal, not so much. Though some parts of Zexal are kind of cool. Next, what does Pot of Greed do? I think that, if I remember correctly, the ruling with Pot of Greed is that if it's a hollow Pot of Greed, like max rarity hollow Pot of Greed, it lets you draw 3 cards. But if it's a common version of Pot of Greed, it lets you draw 2 cards. So, high rarity, more draws, low rarity, not as many draws. That's what the judge told me one time. I asked him in a tournament, I was like, hey, my Upstart Goblin's a secret rare. He's like, you get to draw 3 cards. I was like, oh, okay. And the other guy's like, I got a common Upstart, Pot of Greed. How many do I draw? You only draw 2 cards. So, sorry, that's what Pot of Greed does according to the judges at Konami. Next we have Joey Wheeler asking me, have you ever tried to teach friends or family how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes, I have. I tried to teach my ex how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. That was a disaster. She said, oh, I really want to learn. She got card sleeves, she got the whole shebang. She dropped $700, I think, or more on Yu-Gi-Oh product at the time. And this was right before Dragon Rulers. And I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. I'll teach you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And all my friends tried to teach her. And she's like, oh, I've played Magic before. Okay, that's fine. She never learned. She just bought the product and yelled at me for making her buy it. And I was like, I didn't make you buy it. I said, if you're going to buy it, you must want to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I was like, you don't need all this. I just said, you just need a structure deck. And she went and bought everything without me knowing and then blamed me. I was like, she was a crazy psychopath, but whatever the point is. That was a disaster. My current girlfriend, she does play off and on Duel Links a little bit. She has wanted to learn, but she just doesn't have the time to learn because we're very busy with jobs and everything. So she may learn one day. I'm not going to say no to her because I've been with her for 3 years pretty much now, and everything's been working out good. So there's a very high chance that one day she will learn to play. Her nieces and nephews, however, have learned to play Yu-Gi-Oh! They're between 8 and 12 years old. There's about 3 or 4 of them. About 4 of them that have actually been learning how to play. They're very excited to learn. We usually play online. They love Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, after my own heart. I can't believe it, but they do. We watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows when we get to a chance to. We watch all the different shows. They love it. They really want to play the game. They collect Pokemon cards. They don't play Pokemon. One of them does play Pokemon online, but I said to them, I was like, if you're going to play Yu-Gi-Oh, don't just get the cards and collect them. I was like, no, you can't do that. You're going to play the game. So I am waiting for either the starter deck with the Link monsters to come out, or I'm probably most likely, because you don't really need the extra deck, I'm going to use the Dinosaur and Machine Destruction deck because they want those out. So come April or May, we're probably definitely going to approach that more professionally because they've been playing, we've been testing, they've been learning, so they've been doing pretty good thus far. Next, pretty much every week or every other week we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Next we have Master Swagnut King asks me, will you play Blue Eyes after Link Summoning comes out? Of course I will. There's no reason I wouldn't. The deck is still going to be good. It's still going to be decent. It's still going to be amazing. I had one friend told me that you could technically maybe in the future use blue, if it's just two monsters, you could use Blue Eyes White Maiden and Blue Eyes White Dragon for a Link monster. So there's different ways you could do it. Link monsters do not really affect Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon. It does not. Blue Eyes, you need the Spirit Dragon. Yes, it's cool to go into Dark Matter Dragon if you want to. But that's if you want to. The main play you need to do is just Spirit Dragon with alternative, and you're gonna win. There's nowhere around it, and there's probably ways to Link summon with Blue Eyes White Dragon as well, and they'll definitely make Blue Eyes support probably maybe even in the future. So I will definitely play it. Honestly, the build that you saw in January, take out the Vandy's Emptiness, replace it with something else, that's the same build I will play in Link format because there's no reason to change it. It doesn't need to be changed. Not every deck needs to conform to Link format, really. They don't. Some decks, yes, some decks, no. You just have to learn how to play them differently a little bit. And play the game a little bit differently. It doesn't affect every extra deck ever made. It really doesn't. I've tested. Your thoughts on using Deep Eyes White Dragon in a Blue Eyes deck? I do use one, but I'm curious as to your thoughts on it. I did run it in the deck back before we got Alternative Dragon last year. Well, when I was getting my Alternative Dragons, I got it. It's a very good card, but there's just better Blue Eyes cards out there. Like the pool of blue, there's a lot of good underrated Blue Eyes cards out there, but there's so many better Blue Eyes cards than those that people prefer to run those, which are the standard instead of more techie cards. But I would say it's perfect good. If you like running it in your Blue Eyes deck, go right ahead. It's perfectly fine, and it's a very good card. What are some pro and cons to reverse cuckolding? Predator Mongus asks. Well, it's kind of fun. Not going to say I haven't done that. Next question. I'm joking. I have not done that with my girlfriend. But some pros, it can be fun. Some cons, sometimes it can be very not fun. I had to look the word up because Saintly Seto Kaiba over here doesn't know what the hell that meant. Sebastian E asks, how old were you when you started playing Yu-Gi-Oh? How did you get into Yu-Gi-Oh? I need to do a video on this again, I guess, because I haven't done one in about 2 years. But I got into Yu-Gi-Oh by watching the first ever episode of Yu-Gi-Oh. It was on Kids WB back when I was a kid, and I watched it, and I was instantly hooked because of this monster called Blue Eyes White Dragon. And at the time, I was 12 years old. I am now 27 years old. You can do the math there. I've been in this game since pretty much the beginning. It started here in the TCG. I am an old fart when it comes to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh fan, let's see here. Yu-Gi-Oh fan asked me, hey Seto, congratulations on reaching 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. What is your best Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you own? What is your favorite old school Yu-Gi-Oh card and sets? So my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card I own, probably my 3 original Blue Eyes White Dragons from the starter deck. My favorite old school set, Invasion of Chaos was fun. I hated it back then, but as time has gone on, I've loved it. If I had to choose beside that, Legacy of Darkness or Labyrinth of Nightmare. Labyrinth of Nightmare or Legacy of Darkness? Probably Legacy of Darkness, I would say. There's a whole. I just love any set before IOC. I love those sets. They just mission match together. Like, people love the original Blue Eyes set. I like it, but so many vanillas. And Metal Raiders is cool. Magic Ruler is awesome. Pretty much Metal Raiders up to IOC. I just love any of those sets, really, because they have a lot of nostalgic cards. Next up, hey Seto, question for Q&A. Do you have a pet? If yes, is it a Blue Eyes White Dragon? Yes, I have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. My girlfriend owns one of those Blue Eyes White Dragons. But also, no, I do own a couple of pets. I don't have them with me right now. I had to give them away to a family friend who takes care of them, and I do visit the pet because I'm not at home all the time because I'm always traveling lately. But I do have a Pixie Bob cat. I've taken care of her for 15 years. She's very old now, but she's a Pixie Bob. You can look that up online. Pretty much what that is that's a breed between a domesticated cat and a bobcat. So she's part bobcat. I love her. Her name is Nike because she has the Nike emblem on her paw, both of her front paws. It's like a little swoosh, so we called her Nike. Next we have Mike Tolley asks, Yugioh Tolley, well Mike as I call him, if you could go back in time to when you were a younger player in this game, but have the knowledge of what the future would hold for this game, i.e. the decks that we get and all the hype cards, and go to the price, would you go back in time and mass pick up every card that would be hyped to the highest rarity and sell them off at the future date to gain mass profit? I wouldn't go back and pick them all up, but the main ones I'd pick up would be probably Vandy's Emptiness, because believe it or not, I remember when that card came out and people just kept pulling Vandy's Emptiness at my locals. A lot of people just seemed to, even if it was a short print, common, everybody was pulling them. And I knew people that had 8 Vandy's Emptinesses and I could have brought them for $1.50 a piece. I could have made mad bank with Vandy's Emptinesses prior to the reprint. Other cards I would probably have chosen, I don't know, that's the main one that comes to mind. I've always thought about, like, oh, I could have just gone back and got that card. Some other things, Gateway of the Six Samurai I could have probably made some bank off of because that came out prior, but that wasn't only a couple years prior to the Legendaries coming out. The main thing is Vandy's Emptiness. There are a couple of other ones I could go back and think of, but Vandy's Emptiness is the one that stands out for me and is actually the one I've thought of in the past. Like, I could have gone back and probably picked up 50 Vandy's Emptinesses. They were going for about $50 a piece. I could probably spend like $60, get 50 Vandy's Emptinesses, and turn around like 3-4 years later when, you know, about 5-6 years now, I think now, but back when after Patrick Hoban won with Dragon Rulers and Vandy's Emptiness became a staple as a 3 of, I could have easily sold them off. I had 3 play sets though when they got hyped. I sold 2 of those play sets off, made $200, put that towards Dark Magician, which you guys know the story of that. I put the other part off into just card sleeves and everything and some other little things I wanted to get, and I kept a play set for myself. So I have like a play set of common Vandy's Emptinesses. Yes, I know it's banned now at the time of me making this video, but I could have made mad bank on that. Really, I could. There were a couple other cards out there that are on the ban list that were commons and supers that I could have picked up back in the day and made a whole bunch of money. But Vandy's Emptiness is the big one. Old School Cards asked me, hey Seto, what is your, oh, I've been with you since you reached 5,000 subs. What is your best, well, thank you, dang, that's a long time. What is your best Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you own? What is your favorite old school card sets? So I would have to say my favorite old school cards, like I said, my original Blue Eyes White Dragons. I love those babies to death. But Vandy's Emptiness, that's what I go back and pick up. Next question. Hey Seto, question for Q&A. If you wake up in the morning and you get to know that you can control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, what would be the first thing you make him do and what would you name him? Now the question is this Blue Eyes White Dragon a male or a female? If it is a female, I'm going to name it Daenerys Targaryen. If it is a male, I'm going to name it Seto Kaiba. I would ask this Blue Eyes White Dragon, take me to Daenerys Targaryen so we can ride dragons together through Game of Thrones. That's what my question I would ask my Blue Eyes White Dragon. Take me to Game of Thrones. Let us ride our dragons together into battle. That would be awesome. But I would probably ride the Blue Eyes White Dragon around the world. But it would be so awesome if I had a Blue Eyes White Dragon. If I had a Blue Eyes White Dragon jet, dude, that'd be just epic. Blue Eyes White Dragon deck for that. Oh, that'd be so awesome. But yeah, that's what I would ask my Blue Eyes White Dragon to do. Just, you know, or hey, that's Blue Eyes White Dragon, take me to Konami headquarters. Let's have them make a better ban list. Let's have them print better cards, new archetypes that I want. Let's go do that. Let's say, hey, if you don't make these things happen, I'm going to blow up your building with a white lightning. Thank you very much, Konami. Not threatening Konami, but I'm threatening them in a fun way. But yes, that's just my thoughts what I would do with the Blue Eyes White Dragon if I had one. It'd be kind of fun. I'm going to go into locals. No, just go up to it. How impressive would that be? Somebody flies into a YCS, parks their Blue Eyes White Dragon monster like, hey, Blue Eyes, stay right here. I'm going to go win a YCS. Can you imagine all the players being like, this dude's a boss? It'd be like that picture you see of Billy Blake with his eyes popping out. It'd be like, oh, this dude's a boss. I'm scared of dueling him. He'll kill me if I let him win. If I don't let him win. That'd be fun to have a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next question. What are some of the all-time favorite decks and why? GK's my favorite deck of all time because I love the control aspect, and Six Samurais because I love ancient Japanese culture and Bushido. Kelly Close asks me, Kyle, excuse me, do you think Link Summoning will make extra deck based decks like ABC less competitive than competitive to decks that don't require the extra deck like Dark Magician? Well, I don't quite know. I think in the early part, no. I think the format will be slow enough to allow that. People think that Link format is going to be still sped up and fast. I think it will be very fast to a point, but I think you have to keep in mind the Link monsters I've seen so far, they're very powerful, they're decent, but you can easily get rid of them. Compulse, Dark Hole, Regeki, Kaijus, Slumber, TT, popping it with a monster effect, they're so easy to get around. So I think the format will be very slow. I don't think it will be much of a problem. I would expect that come the down the road that we'll get more support for some of these older structure decks because Konami's always done that in the past. So they'll have something to make those structure decks more competitive. They do that with every structure deck they've ever made, really. Be it Dark World, Synchros, whatever the case may be. So we'll probably get that maybe in a year or two. But I think ABC decks will be fine. They will be a little bit slower. They won't be as competitive, but they'll be still a playable deck. I think extra deck decks will still be a thing like Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's just going to be how much do you rely upon your extra deck. And if you do rely upon your extra deck a lot, you got to just slowly snowball your opponent into winning. And we rely upon your traps to counteract their power pushes with their Link monster. So if they summon a Link monster, solemn warning that shit, so they can't go off, and then you just slowly snowball them into a victory by just keep pumping out resources. So that's the way I'm approaching Link monsters. And the last question I'm going to do for this video is, who is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character from the Yu-Gi-Oh series besides Seto Kaiba? Akiza Iniske, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Akiza Iniske from 5Ds. I love Akiza. I love Akiza from 5Ds. Akiza is bae, Akiza is life. I will always love Akiza. She's my favorite female character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And my second favorite character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I will be back, guys, in a bit with a second Q&A. It'll probably go up like 20 minutes after this original video gets aired. But I'll see you guys on the flip side. Be right back.